Good morning, team. We are back with another episode of Cajun Tiger Plays. Cajun Tiger, and we are playing through Dyson Sphere Program. We have finished building a bunch of uh, these blueprints out to get all the stuff that we need going forward. We are slowly but surely making our way to purple science, and we will get there. First things first, though, an apology. At the end of the last video that I recorded, I started working on the video itself and forgot to pause the game. So if you are literally playing along with me, you will probably be able to look up here in the top left, and see that my research is further along than yours. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the game was running for about 15 minutes, and it just kept going. So anyway, we will keep going, and I will wait a little bit on some research, let you guys catch up if you're playing along with every step of the way. We're going to lay some foundation here, and the reason we're laying foundation in these areas, even though this is stuff we built a long time ago, if you look when we lay the foundation down, you can see it tells us that we're going to obtain, I'm going to move over here, or consume a certain amount of soil pile. We need a good bit of foundation today, and so we're trying to just lay this down real quick so we can obtain more of that soil pile. And you can see that number down here on the bottom when you're laying out foundation. So we are going to lay a little bit more, pick up some more soil pile so that we can use that for our builds that we're going to be doing today. Want to clean up a little bit of things around our hub mall depot thingy, and get a little bit of stuff working a little bit more efficiently, hopefully there, and start getting things built to prepare for the next steps. We are going to be going back to the other planets soon to probably do another fast forward video of laying down all the network items to connect all the resources on that planet into a planetary network, and then we'll build out a couple of arrays for using our blueprints for titanium, and uh, probably one for fire ice as well, and for the silicon definitely, because we need silicon for our purple science that we're going to be building. All right, we're very close to 200,000, which is what we kind of want to be at for our soil pile. I think I have not done the research, and I meant to look this up before I did the video. I'll try to remember to do it before the next video. I think that the amount of soil pile that you get when you lay a foundation down is how to explain this the right way. I think you're laying a foundation down at sea level. And so if you're, we've looked at it before. You can see the hills in some of the areas before you lay things down. And so if you have hills, then you get soil pile back. If you're below sea level, like in the water areas, you spend your soil pile to fill that in. And I think if you did that across the entire planet, that you would come out at a balance, a perfect balance. But I don't recall if that's true or not. I do know that one of the things and one of the reasons that I probably should have played with the Dark Swarm on is Dark Swarm will give you soil pile at the beginning, at the early parts of the game, which is very helpful. I'm going to expand the number of spots in this depot so that we get a little bit more fuel for the mech. We need 4, and it just makes sense to have 4 whenever we come back over here. I'm going to grab all of our new Mark II belts. We'll put more of the Mark Is in later. And then we'll grab our drones and our planetary logistic stations. And then what we want to do for cleanup, and we probably should have done this a while ago, but it's okay that we didn't. We're going to cut that down so it's only one slot in that depot, and we're going to do the same thing over here. And then we'll add those processors in. Then we want to reset this line here so that we pull the processors in and feed them into our logistics vessels. And then we're going to add our line here so we can feed in and start making our thrusters more, or what were they called? Reinforced thrusters, so that we can make those. Sometimes something's a Mark II, sometimes it's a reinforced thruster, who knows. Anyway, we want to make one stack of those logistic vessels, and then we are going to add 2 of our planetary logistic stations here, and we're going to reset this connection so that we can make a couple of more interstellar logistic stations. So we do want to reset this so it's down to 1 because we don't want to be making too many of those. And our big limiter, as you guys know, is the electromagnetic turbines. It's just slow making those, and we're going to make it slower because we're going to come over here and what am I doing? Messed up there. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we are going to grab things out of these depots so that we can be making things and building things today, and that's going to cause our production lines to run out of materials. So things are going to go slowly for a little bit. Do want to build over here one more assembler, and I should have done this a while ago. I wasn't thinking about it. I did think about it a couple of times, but I didn't think about it when I actually did the video. We want to put another assembler here to make electric motors. The one assembler that's making electric motors is feeding into the depot, and it's going both over here to make Mark II assembler or Mark II sorters, and over here to make our electromagnetic turbines. So we want, if we put another one, that'll just help our electromagnetic turbines be made faster. And that's a good thing because that's what we need for our thrusters and planetary logistic stations, interstellar logistic stations, all of that. So that just gives us an extra little bit here that'll keep this guy working a little bit more consistently. And eventually we'll build a assembly array and be able to feed as many in as we can make. So that, I think, is everything that I wanted to do over here for now. So we will head back this way. We want to take advantage of our new belts. Now that we're making plenty of them, sort this so you can see we've got a lot of those new Mark II belts. And that means we can extend these arrays that are making the energetic graphite. We can make those twice as long because we can make 12 per second on our new belts. So that will give us more energetic graphite to use for the power stations and give us more power, which we can look at real quick. We're okay right now, but as soon as we start building stuff, this little gap in our generation and consumption, our sufficiency there, that's going to go away pretty quick once we start building arrays. So we are on the path as well. In addition to our purple science, we are going to be trying to get more hydrogen so that we can make better fuel. We have our fuel array making hydrogen fuel rods, but again, we talked about the fact that we're not pulling in enough hydrogen to take full advantage of that. So we want to do that as well soon because that's a better fuel source than this energetic graphite. All right, remember this is a 2-1 build, so we're getting a full belt right now of 6 per second. When we upgrade our belts, we'll be getting, and we add the smelters and everything, we will be getting 12 per second, and we'll be getting 2 belts of that. You can also remember when we did our power generation up top, we built it for a 6 per second belt. So given that we have 6 per second belt, and right now we had each side of these 2 builds had 2 belts, that was 4 total power build stations. Now we can add 4 more once we're done with this because we will have additional belts coming out, or bigger belts, I guess I should say. So we can go up to 12 because the new belts allow up to 12 per second. Build these belts and get a little bit more energetic graphite into our network. We will eventually have problems with coal, but it's going to be a while before that happens. And I think hopefully if we time everything just right, we will not be as reliant on these type of power stations. We will get further and further into getting the hydrogen and being able to make nuclear power, which is much better and will help us avoid some of the power issues that we've been facing. So extending our Tesla towers out so that we have power. And with all of that done, we can copy and paste these smelters, and now we're making 12 per second. Or, well, we will be once we finish copying all the smelters. So while we're doing this, we are also going to need to do some changes where we're building our foundations, because we're going to need a lot of foundations. Again, we talked about this. Our planet is still 40-ish% covered with water, and we want to get as much as we can. So what I want to do, we kind of done this before in other areas, but we're going to build with our science, when we did our science, we're going to build a depot here, and we're just going to put stuff in the depot. That will let us break the line there, and then we can take stuff out of the depot on the other side. And as we start researching more of our ability to stack things, we'll be able to make that stack higher. And once this planetary logistics station is full, it will continue working and fill up the depots. So that's just a way that we can keep things processing while we're doing other things around the map, around the system, or whatever else we're doing. We can make sure foundations are continuing to be built, as many as we can hold. All right, and we could build more elaborate arrays of depots. We could build Mark II depots, which hold more things. They have 60 slots as opposed to 30 slots. That's a possibility. But for right now, that's what we did is good enough. We come up here, and each of these we looked at before. Each of these power builds uses 10 of the 5x5 grids. So we're going to put foundation down for 6, 8, 10 of the grids, and we'll do it down here as well. And then we'll do it here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 grids there. Put the rest of the foundations down there. Now we can add 2 more of our power plant generators. Again, you want the output line on that 5th meridian, and then the bottom is right. You can't go any further down because it crosses the fault line, like we've talked about. So we'll do that one there, and then this one here, and let the drones do their thing. We'll help out a little bit building a few of these manually. And then I noticed earlier when I was playing through, trying to figure out exactly what order to do things next, we have a couple of these planetary logistics stations that we could add more of our drones to. So we'll add the logistics drones. Again, it's power, so we want to make sure we have plenty of power. So we're going to put 50 drones in. That way we can keep power supplied. 50 in these 2 new ones. We'll come over here and check. I think that one was 20, so we'll need to add 30 more for that one. This one I think was 20 as well. Add 30 there. And then one of these 2 was completely empty, so we'll add the full 50 there. And then this one should have 50 as well. Yeah, that one's got 50. And because of our build here with the coal, we will not be able to build a line of power there, but we can keep going at the top. And then again, over here, the copper is going to get in the way up there. So let's grab a few more foundations while we're here. We'll get a little extra soil pile by capping off our hole. Some of these actually consume, like here, it's going to consume a little bit, but I think we net positive when we do this. So these, we're going to let them go. Like I said, we're not hurting for power yet, but it'll take a little bit for the drones to fill these up. This one's almost there. This one's getting there. So as the energetic graphene goes through, it will start providing more and more power there. And then we can build one more here when the time comes. But before we do that, we want to come back down here. Oh, we didn't let our drones finish over here. We definitely need to let the drones finish building these buildings. because we want these smelting arrays working at full speed, full power, all the energetic graphite we can get out of there. Okay. So remember when we built from this fault line, we went to the very next fault line and counted backwards 5, and that's where we put our build for our foundations. So we are going to do the same thing, only we're going to come from the fault line and we're going to go 5 of these 5x5 grids up north. I think it's north for the current building foundations, and we're going to use this area for another build. So put another assembler build. Again, remember we have to pick one of those two. It's kind of easy if you go all the way down, you can't go any further toward the fault line, so you come up 1 away from the fault line, and that's closer to the equator, so we build right there. Again, the far left, coming from this angle, the far left of our planetary logistics station is on the 5th meridian, so we build there. And here, if we jump back into our formulas, we are heading toward purple science. In order to do that, we need a bunch of processors. In order to do processors, we need circuit boards. And in order to do circuit boards, we need iron and copper. We built the iron and copper over there last time, so we have belts of those available to use. So we're going to be building circuit boards here. So again, our formula, 2 circuit board or 2 iron, well, either 2 circuit boards or 2 iron ingots is going, 2 iron ingots going in, 2 circuit boards coming out. So that's our critical item number. So 2 times 0.75 is 1.5, divided by 1 second is 1.5. And if we take our belts, which we're going to use Mark II belts, so that's 12 divided by 1.5, that leaves us with 8. So we're going to need to add a couple of more of these assemblers here. So we'll just stretch our belts out first. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Stretch these belts out first, and then we'll be able to drag our assemblers once we get the recipe set, and then we can set the requester demand in our planetary logistics station, and we'll be able to see our circuits start being built. Circuit boards, the official term. So build these 4, and then down here, because of the slope, because of the way the globe works, again, you have to spread those out a little bit. So I think it's 3 tabs to get those to space out properly. But since we've already built them up above in the tighter area and used our blueprint, we can get the spacing right because of lining up those first 3. That will help get everything lined up properly. Now we upgrade our belts. And we do have, because we extended our Tesla towers all the way to the end, we should be good on power there. So we will request the iron ingots to come in, and we will request the copper ingots to come in. We will grab 20 of our drones, drop them in here, and we should see very soon. Oh, we got to actually tell it we want those on demand, and then we need to put a place in here for our circuit boards coming out. So now you see all the drones heading over, all the drones from over there pulling things back in, and we should see these belts filling up soon. There we go. Here comes the belts, here comes the different things, and we're going to make everything we need. Now, I do want to say that our formula tells you how many of the materials, or how many of the machines you need. Grab some foundations while we're here. Well, we'll give it a chance to fill up. It tells you how many of the machines you need, but if your power slacks, your machines are not going to be operating at 100% efficiency. So I had this happen earlier where I ran out of power and did not get power generation created in time. And so this input line that you can see right now, we're not getting any of this iron over here because the 8 machines that we created is using a full belt. That's what we did our calculation for. We can see that happening. If our power drops below 100% sufficiency, these machines will operate more slowly and that belt will start to back up. We want to avoid that happening. If that goes on for too long, you can end up in almost a death spiral. of because the machines that are generating your energetic graphene would slow down as well. And that energetic graphene is being provided to your power production machines, your generators, and those generators don't get as energetic graphene as quickly enough, and everything just keeps slowing down until the whole system shuts down because you're not getting enough fuel into the system fast enough. So you want to keep, that's why we keep paying attention to our power situation. All right, we are going to build our Tesla towers here. Again, remember this area between the two sections is called, that's what we call a loon. You're going to build 20 of those 5x5 grids, and that lets us stretch that the full distance with 30 smelters should we get to Mark III belts. So we're going to build another array of building things up here. So we have 5 more this way, and then we can build out just a little bit. We are going to go a little bit further because our next build is going to take more assemblers than we've done in the past. So while I'm planting all of this stuff, build these Tesla towers, and then I'll lay down the, again, we're on the bottom, we're on the fault line that's closer to the equator. So because of that, we can just pull our recipe and cross that fault line and just bring it back until it allows us to put that down and build it. So while the drones are building this, and we're going to be building the microcrystalline components here, while I get all of that set up, we will do another, yeah, call me weird if you want, it's okay. We'll do another weird shout out today. Today's shout out is, we were talking about Bartle's taxonomy of player types, and hopefully you had a chance to look at that, figure out, are you a club, are you a spade, whatever. I tend to be spade diamond type. So if you don't know what that is, you can go read the article, see what it's all about. But as we talk about sociology, gaming, and all that kind of stuff, then one of the things that people play games for is, quite frankly, for escape. And so that's today's shout out, playing games for escape. The world stinks right now. It doesn't matter what political spectrum you're on. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's angry. Sometimes you just need to get away from it all. So play a game for a little bit. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. There's other reasons to play games, and we'll talk about those later. But, you know, play games just to have fun sometimes. It's good. So that's our shout out for today, games for escape. All right, so let's look at our formula here. 2 per second, and it's a 2-second recipe. So if we multiply 0.75 times 2, get 1.5, divide by 2, you get 0.75. So 12 per second, which is our belt, excuse me, 12 per second divided by 0.75 means that we need, if I'm remembering correctly, we need 16 total. So that's going to be a total of 8 on either side, which we'll need more foundations to do that. So let's drop another level of foundations there, and because it's a little bit further, we're going to stretch out all 8 of our assemblers first, and then we can put our belts down, because then we'll know exactly where the belts need to go. So let's drag our belts for these assemblers. Now, if you recall, we only have a single area in the other, on the other planet, that is making silicon, and we need those silicon, that high purity silicon, for this recipe. So that's why we're going to need to go to the other planet soon, because we are going to need to set up more silicon. Our logistic drones, we're probably going to want to take more of those so that more can be transported, and it just, we're going to run out if we don't do something different. Let's see, why are you not liking me? Let's put you there, you there. Let's see. Oh, I had the tab already. There we go. Okay, now we got it figured out. All right, so let's set our recipe here, microcrystalline components, and build 2 tabs, 3 tabs, 3 tabs. There we go. That's why I was having problems before. I only tabbed twice. Okay, so there we go. So again, we need, to make the microcrystalline components, we need high purity silicon and copper. So we come in here and click on high purity silicon, click on copper, and we want to demand those. And we can build our output for our microcrystalline components, put in our 20 drones, and we should see these start filling in soon. All right, and here we will make our processors. Now that we have circuit boards and microcrystalline components being made, we can actually make the processors. So we'll build a little bit more room for processors. Let's just go to there because I don't remember exactly how far out we need to go. And now that we have the borders done, we can just drag. All right. So then our recipe, and again, this recipe, we're coming at this from the closer to the pole. So we want to go there, and then we want to keep going further down. We want to be right there on that line. Remember, it's the center, the space is in the center because this is only 5 of the 5x5 grid, so we're going to go one closer to the equator from that center space. And then again, I'm lined up in the wrong spot. We want to line up on the 5th meridian there. And that will all start building. We will grab our Tesla towers over here and pull those all the way up to our fault line. And while the drones are building that, we can come in here and look at our recipe. It's 2 every 3 seconds. So 2 of the microcrystalline components, 2 of the circuit boards, and it only makes 1 processor. So 2 circuit boards times 0.75 is 1.5, divided by 1.5 divided by 3 is 0.5. 12 divided by 1.5, or 12 divided by 0.5, excuse me, is 24. So that means we need 12 and 12. Again, hopefully that last episode we did, yep, we are going to need more foundation. Hopefully the last episode we did helped you understand the formulas and how the formulas work. If not, like I said, use a calculator. It's not a bad thing to use a calculator. It'll help you figure out exactly what you need. And so that's fine to use a calculator. But we do need 12 assemblers on either side of this lane to make all of the microprocessors. Now this is going to consume a full belt of our crystalline components and consume a full belt of our circuit boards, and it's going to give us, I think it's going to give us a third of a belt of the processors, which is fine. We don't need a ton. We're aiming, I think we're going to try to shoot for 2 science per second, or our build that we're headed toward right now. 2 science per second is going to be more than we're making now, and that should be plenty enough research for us to get all the way through to the end, and then we'll be able to use some of that to make the final version, which is the white science, white science takes 1 of everything basically to make. We can look at that in a minute. We're going to have to add to our technology. We'll probably do that next game or next episode. Let's get these all built with the right recipe in them. Now that our belts are done, 1 row of 12 there and 1 more row of 12 here. And again, we need our circuit boards coming in, and we need our microcrystalline components coming in. And since we're building both of those now, because we just did it, we know they'll be coming, and then we need our processors going out. We'll pick another 20 of our drones, drop them in there, and again, we should see here, there you go, stuff's already starting to come in. So, unfortunately, we are now underneath 100% sufficiency in our power. So we're going to need to add more power. We'll do that right up here near the correct location on the pole. Hit our button so we can find, again, you're looking for the spot where between the fault lines there's 3 of the 5x5 grids, and the nice thing about building here is it's the opposite pole, so we don't have the same limitations that we had on the other pole with the copper and the coal that we were looking at. We do have some things up here, but
Mineral depleted.
We can build here. We're getting soil pile every time we build here as well. So we want to hit R to rotate that so that we can keep it kind of laid out in the same pattern. That one goes there, and we can build one more. Again, we're going to need to build more of the. That's not where we want to build that one. So we're not going to have enough room up there to build it, so we'll build it here next to this one. That's fine. We are going to need to build more energetic graphene in order to provide any more power plants outside of the one that we're building right now. So we were providing for 4, now we're providing for 8 because we used the extended those lines to 12, and this is going to be our 8th build, our 8th power build. So let's put our drones in these, and we will call that an episode. It's 50 drones here for this one, and I believe the planetary, let's try just control. Yeah, the planetary logistics station will only take 50, so you can control click on that. So as these start getting full, we'll click on their power. It's kind of low right now, but everything's running right now. All of our stuff that we just built is running. We got a lot of drones flying, filling up these 2 towers, and they're not completely full. They're not, this one's not even, barely even providing any power at all. So as they fill up, get our drones over here to finish that belt. As these fill up, they will start providing more power. Our numbers will go up. See, we're already at 100% sufficiency now. So those numbers will go up. We'll be just over 100% sufficiency, so we'll be good to move on and do some more things. Again, we have a couple more things to do on this planet, and then we need to head to our other planet to find the silicon so that we don't run out of silicon, and I'm totally lost. There we go. What is this? This is our area. Oh, this is where, yeah, this is what I was headed towards because I wanted to come grab more foundations. Okay, more foundations, and then we go back to our mall hub depot thingy, and that way we can grab stuff we need for our next episode when we get started. We'll update our technology queue in the next episode, so if you want to keep up and you're playing along, you can just let yours run for a few minutes and it'll catch up, and then we'll add some more things over here to be building. Might rearrange some stuff. We're still barely getting any of these electromagnetic turbines, so we may make some changes to get some more of those, but will be a plan for next time. We are also getting stuff. Yeah, we're not quite making all of our yellow science, so we might need to add a smelter or 2 making diamonds. We got plenty of the titanium crystals. We're just not quite getting enough diamonds. So we'll probably work on that on our next episode and get ready to head to the other planet to finish filling out the logistics network there and get things working well on that other planet. Remember, players, I fly the ship. Keep building, team.